Hi, thanks so much for coming. Let's get into it. I thought I would start this channel to talk about my bizarre health journey I've been through. So for the past several years, I spent a long time being very sick and trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And then a few years after that, it was the recovery phase. And I know I can't be the only person who had these crazy symptoms. So I had dementia symptoms, like very, very severe dementia symptoms. And I couldn't figure out what was the problem. My doctor couldn't figure out what the problem was. I had normal results for all of my tests that were done. I started trying to just research, play Dr. Google, and figure out, oh, could it be this, could it be that? And I annoyed my doctor to the point where she would just approve any test I wanted because I was being really fucking annoying, as you have to be to get anything done with doctors. And nothing came back being positive. So I eventually found a functional practitioner who helped give me the right tests to take to figure out what the problem was. And the cause was systemic candida. And I had no idea that something in your gut could cause really severe dementia symptoms. And I actually wrote down my symptoms to share with you because there were so many I can't remember them anymore. And I kind of would potentially rather not remember them because it was awful. But my main problem was memory problems. And when I say it seemed like I had dementia, I mean, you look up the symptoms of dementia and I had almost all of them. And it was to the point where I had a hard time thinking of words just in my own head. Just, we're always thinking, and that was even hard. It felt like I was losing myself. Like I had just a loss for words in all situations, just your everyday back and forth conversations, to having a hard time comprehending what other people were saying. I would need people to repeat things, sometimes many times. I would often kind of play off being ditzy because I would just get really embarrassed. I was in my early 30s when I started, but what am I going to say? Like, oh, sorry, I think I might have dementia. I'm like 31. That's normal. But the main things were just the overwhelming inability to function mentally, where I would have a hard time forming sentences in my head. Like if let's say a sentence is, the ball is round. I would struggle to come up with the word ball and the word round, and then I would make myself put it in a sentence. And I would keep doing that with everything to try to save my brain. And so I just, didn't lose everything because I couldn't. I didn't know what to do. And I was just trying to, stay functional. And I did also have some slurred speech. And everything was, a process to remember anything. My house was filled with a lot of Post-it notes and a lot of phone alarms for your basic things that you just remember to do. I had really, really extreme fatigue. Like, I would do minimal exercise and just be annihilated after. I would get super hungry, eat a lot, and then just be down for the count. And I would often feel like if I didn't eat immediately, I was going to die. And mornings in general were extra rough to get going and out of bed. The fatigue got so bad sometimes I struggled to just sit up. And the worst was when I was literally scared that I would drop a glass of water, so I would have to hold a glass with two hands just because I didn't trust myself to not drop it because I felt that weak. What else? I have a lot of little symptoms that aren't really that important. I had poor spatial awareness. So I just had this loss of coordination where I would, I'd be reaching for something, I'd reach for a glass, and then I would like just smack the side of the cabinet, and it seemed like I lost a moment of time where all of a sudden this cabinet would just be there, and I would, and this was like a common occurrence, and I would specifically try to remember and try to be in the moment so those things wouldn't happen, but I don't know. It just kept happening. And it was to the point where I thought I was a few months shy of having to go into a long-term care home. So this started I think I was 31, and then it was really bad when I think I was 34, 35, around there, where it was to the point where I just thought I'm gonna die. Like there's no solution. How much longer can I go on before my brain completely disappears? I don't know. And if I hadn't found my functional practitioner, I really believe I would be in a care home, because I was that far gone where I couldn't function. I had to get like meal delivery service because I didn't have the strength to cook my own food. Everything fucking sucked. And so I just wanted to kind of let people know about the severity of symptoms from Candida. A lot of Candida stuff will talk about brain fog, but to me, I feel like that doesn't cover the extent of it. It's, I don't know, when I think of brain fog, I think of being hungover and you feel a little out of sorts, you're, everything's kind of foggy and dull and whatever, but you can still function and go about your day. But this was like, no, I had fucking dementia. I couldn't do anything. My brain didn't work. It was absurd. So if anybody has similar symptoms, I would recommend trying to see if you could get tested for Candida and at least rule it out. Know that it's an option. Know that you can have these extreme symptoms from it. And I love you. You can get through this. I promise there's a solution. It's 2023. There's a solution for everything. You just have to work and figure it out, and sometimes go through a lot of pain and misery, and hopefully it doesn't take you as long to figure out your issues as it did me. And on that note, I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes, so I'm gonna leave and finish my hike. Bye.